Loyola's Andra Jackson hugs sister Jean Dolores Schmidt after defeating Nevada. Brett Davis, USA Today. As tends to happen, the NCAA tournament got chalkier and chalkier as it wound through its second weekend. Thus we have all the more reason to be thankful for Loyola Chicago, which eventually stood alone as the last bastion of March Madness. With the tournament's foremost 98-year-old cheerleader, Sister Jean Dolores Schmidt, enjoying every step of the way, the 11th-seeded Ramblers put the cap Saturday on an utterly bonkers South region by breezing past number 9 Kansas State, 78-62, to earn a berth in the Final Four. That triumph, unlikely in almost every respect, stood in stark contrast to the other three regions, in which the highest-seeded teams entering the Sweet 16 all made it through the Elite Eight and onto the national semifinals. That includes Michigan, the number 3 seed in the West, which first saw number 1 Xavier and number 2 North Carolina lose in the second round, then benefited from 4th-seeded Gonzaga's loss Thursday to number 9 Florida State. The Wolverines themselves nearly fell to the Seminoles, but they pulled out a 58-54 win Saturday to give the region a name-brand champ. The other side of the bracket was less tumultuous all along, and sure enough both number 1 seeds emerged Sunday. In fairness, oddsmakers favored number 2 Duke over Kansas in the Midwest Final, so the Jayhawks' 85-81 win could be viewed as something of an upset, but certainly not enough to qualify as true madness. In the previous round, the Blue Devils bounced the region's one major party crasher, number 11 Syracuse, and even that school is among college basketball's more well-pedigreed programs. In the East, the digressions from chalk were even more slight, with number 5 West Virginia the lowest-seeded team in the Sweet 16 and number 3 Texas Tech taking out number 2 Purdue in that round. Top-seeded Villanova went through a bit of a tussle with the Red Raiders, but the Wildcats still notched their 4th straight win by double digits, frustrating everyone hoping Sunday would give them more insanity. No one had to worry about that in the South, where number 5 Kentucky entered the Sweet 16 as the region's highest-seeded squad and a heavy favorite to win it, only to fail to heed coach John Calipari's warning about drinking the poison of overconfidence. The Wildcats won their matchup Thursday, but it was the K-State version, setting up a regional final guaranteed to produce a thoroughly unexpected standard-bearer. Even so, Kansas State was the higher seed and the betting favorite representing a Power 5 conference, unlike Loyola, which needed to win the Missouri Valley Conference tournament just to be included in the NCAA field. That only made the Ramblers' win all the more satisfying, at least outside of the greater Manhattan, Can area. Many fans of the NCAA tournament have noted that, unlike most postseason events, it is at its most dramatic and unpredictably fun in the early stages. That was never more apparent than this year, when UMBC produced the first victory by a 16 seed over a number 1 seed, with Virginia playing the role of Dragon Slayer, while Buffalo and Marshall also advanced as lowly 13 seeds. Only Loyola, though, was able to keep it going following 3 nail-biters won by a total of 4 points, with Saturday's relatively stress-free win. In doing so, the Ramblers became just the 4th 11 seed to reach the Final Four since seeding began in 1979, and just the 30th team placed 5th or lower to do so. By contrast, 32 teams seeded 3rd or 4th have made it to the Final Four, 2 seeds have done it 33 times and number 1 teams have done it 65 times per PrintYourBrackets.com. It's worth noting that the tournament did not expand to 64 teams until 1985, but those numbers still speak to how, once the dust begins to settle, the tournament tilts toward its heavyweights. Loyola Chicago apparently failed to get the old memo. So here's to the Ramblers, who will travel to San Antonio's Alamodome as the living embodiments of March Madness. Is it asking too much of them to go ahead and unleash some more chaos? Read more from the Post. Kansas beats Duke and its Elite Eight Demons with an overtime classic. Grayson Allen gave his haters one last chance to hate before his Duke career ended. Known as pretty, Villanova is gritty in knocking out Texas Tech to reach Final Four. CBS's Dana Jacobson asks a question. Florida State's Leonard Hamilton won't answer. Doug Williams on Sewer Cravens. Right now, HES a Redskin, but everybody is tradable.